So how am I getting through this? It's called whiskey. Oh! Oh, I should not have done that for real. Okay, so Jessica Jones is back, and I have started watching the second season. I got 3 episodes in tonight, and I'm calling it an evening on that particular chunk of it. Now, a little bit of background. Jessica Jones, the first season, is my favorite show that Marvel Netflix has done so far. It's my favorite season of anything, followed by Daredevil season 1. And right off the get-go, I've been excited and nervous about the second season because like I said, I really liked that show, and it was a very complete story. Obviously, there was more that could happen to Jessica after, but it was very obvious that that season was geared towards telling that story that it finished telling. And that's often a very awkward position for a show to come in to do a second season on the back of, because when you get through the first one, you did everything you designed the show to do. And how do you come back from that? To make a comparison, that was more or less my problem with the second season of Stranger Things. And that's a comparison I'll probably be making a little bit because I'm not loving this right now. It's not bad. It's not Iron Fist bad. It's not the Inhumans bad. It's nothing like any of that. But it's definitely a big step down so far. It can recover, obviously, but I think ultimately its main issue is honestly almost identical to my problem with the second season of Stranger Things, which is that the first season had a strong central thrust and a really good hook by the end of the first episode. I'm 3 episodes in. I've gotten maybe what's supposed to be the hook. If it is, it ain't hooking me. Well, I know what the primary hook is, but I'm completely unhooked by it. So, spoiler warning, I suppose, as I get into specifics on this. So, I got really nervous the first time that I saw a trailer where the emphasis was on, I want to know how I got these powers. I want to know what happened to me. And because, well, look, just on a personal level, and I know this is not the case for everybody, but first off, I don't care. I don't care how she got her powers, and it feels too much like trying to capture the lightning in a bottle that was the first season. Because that first season, really, it was a wonderful way of extrapolating past trauma, past damage, and putting it in a superhero framework in this really well-conceived manner. To go back to a different past trauma just smacks of trying to do the same thing again, as opposed to moving things forward. What I had hoped the second season would be, and even this idea I would have been skeptical of, but what I wanted it to be was just her working cases. And obviously she can start working a case that becomes a bigger deal. But it didn't, and that is kind of almost what happens, except it also ties back into her and where her powers come from, and that's the part I don't want. I would have been down for it if the Wizard had shown, which, first of all, fun reference, if you have ever heard that name before, he is an actual superhero, believe it or not. But when he showed up, and I knew the minute he said that, I'm like, he's going to turn out to actually have those powers. So, I mean, and I'll mention this a few times, I'm calling a lot of these plot developments, which I'm not loving my ability to do that. So we get him, and he wants her help, she doesn't help, and then she realizes, well, there's some truth to what he's saying. That, honestly, that's fine. And, like, there's somebody who's tracking down people with powers, you know, who aren't, you know, like the Hulk and Captain America and whatnot, and, you know, that's a case for her to track. Cool, I'm fine with that, except with how it ties back into her own thing, because now we're just rehashing her doing past damage again. And that's not me saying like she should just be over it, because that's not how trauma works. I get that, but we explored her trauma And there's enough to, if you want to revisit any of that, there's enough just to be taken from the fact that she is dealing with consequences of what she did. She killed a man. If you want to have her angsty about past trauma, have her angsty about that, not more stuff that you have to explain first and now go through her trauma about it. And the other thing, and again I'll make the comparison to well, not only to Stranger Things season 2, but really any show where the first season is based on a strong central theme. And my understanding of Twin Peaks was that the first season was like this and the second season kind of meandered. This kind of does the same thing. The Twin Peaks one, I could be wrong, I haven't actually watched it myself. I'm gonna lose geek cred for that. Anyways, what I mean by that is all the characters who were in the first season were there for a reason. They served a narrative purpose. They were contributors to the story. In the second season, there's a number of these characters who are there because they were in the last season. Hogarth leaps to mind as far as all that goes. And again, maybe it'll come together and there'll be more to her to actually contribute to what's going on. But right now, she's not contributing to this narrative. She's not contributing to the story. We're following her and she gets this diagnosis, but like the assumption is she was around last season, so you care about her now, right? Like, it's not that I didn't care about Hogarth. She was a decent character, but is there a narrative reason for her to be here, or is she only here because she was here last time? That's what, again, that's what a fair chunk of Stranger Things Season 2 felt like. That I said that about Mike, because Mike had nothing to do in that second season. And what he was doing there is not something you would create a character for. If that was the first season of the show, you'd go, we should just cut this guy. He doesn't do anything. He was only there because he was there before. And Hogarth, I'm getting the same thing all over again. Trish is contributing. I'll give her that. Although, again, talking about things that I called her new boyfriend, I think it was literally 2 minutes before he like sticks his little USB into her computer, starts doing who knows what. We don't know exactly what his deal is. But 2 minutes before he did that, I thought, even odds that he's a bad guy, or at the very least involved in all this. And hey, look at that, and there he goes. So again, I'm calling these plot turns. I'm calling these twists. And the show also, in these first 3 episodes, has done the Jessica goes to the next clue point, but they're already dead. They do it like 3 times in a row, and that has gotten really old and really predictable really quick. So, yeah, primarily I've been bitching so far. Kristen Ritter still works. She's really good in this part. Trish works as a character, and their dynamic really works. And there's Malcolm. I like Malcolm a lot. He's terrific. He does a really good job of helping balance Jessica in terms of just their general personalities and their chemistry with each other. So I like that he has more to do this season than he had last time around. So there's stuff here, and you know, maybe the fake Dr. Hansen is the big hook. Because prior to this, they had friggin' Simpson from the first season, who, God, I didn't care. I mean, that one I aggressively didn't care about, because I found that his entire subplot in that first season was something I would have just excised from the entire thing. I would have cut probably 2 episodes, because that was about the accumulation of all his stuff. Junk him, make it 2 episodes shorter, and that first season probably would have been perfect as far as I was concerned. So bringing him back is not only something that doesn't interest me, it makes me actively go, I didn't even like you. So it's just not moving in much of a direction. And if Leslie Hansen, fake Leslie Hansen, whoever the heck she turns out to be, is our actual primary villain, that's just weak. Because by episode 3 of the first season, we had a real good proper introduction to Kilgrave, and he'd been alluded to even before that. We didn't know exactly the history, but we knew this guy was bad news. Here he is. Here's what he can do. 3 episodes into this, we've got, there's a mystery in Jessica's past. Maybe this woman has something to do with it. Oh, she ran away and she's kind of strong. Okay. Why do I care? And again, maybe people who are more invested in wanting to know where Jessica's powers came from, maybe they can get into it. Maybe if that is something that actually interests you and you care about that, maybe this will work for you. I don't care. And since that seems to be almost the entirety of what they're hanging the entire season on, then I'm afraid this is going to become a slog. And I'm getting red flags sitting through these first 3 episodes. But I'm going to call it a night. Hopefully, now that we've gotten somebody for her to focus on, maybe it'll pick up. We'll see. But yeah, first 3 episodes was not great. And I'm going to try and get through the rest of the season as quickly as I can, to do follow-up stuff. How quickly I'll get it up, whether I'm able to do the rest of the episodes, cover it with just 1 video. If I might need to do another 2, I'm not sure. We'll see how this spaces out over time. But Jessica Jones, Season 2, first 3 episodes. Please don't talk to me in the comments about anything past that, because... spoilers. Don't be a jerk. So, any thoughts on the first 3 episodes? Whatever they are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Do all the stuff. Like, subscribe, and follow, and Patreon, and buy a t-shirt, and links for all this stuff is down in the description. So, until next time, this council is adjourned.